Hey, it's Jess. This is the first episode of the Heartcore Home. If you were around for Mom Mentality, then you know that this podcast is really about helping the moms who feel like the black sheep of their families. You know, the ones who are like trying to parent and not lose their shit. In this season, we're evolving. We are widening that lens, baby, because there's a couple things, but I had been thinking, it had been kind of weighing on my heart that we are moms. We love being moms. It's amazing. And it's a huge part of our identity, right? But we're not just moms. We're so much more than that. We're wives. We are daughters and sisters and friends and coworkers. We're all the things. And because of that, widening that lens is going to look more like emotional regulation, family dynamics, not just parenting, healing and connection, and all the things that make up a real live human home. And I am going to tell you why this happened, because there's a little story there too, and kind of what to expect and what it's going to look like to evolve on purpose, even when it's scary as hell. For starters, why the name change? I had been playing around with the term hardcore for a long time for my coaching. And for some reason, I felt like I had to separate everything, and Mom Mentality just came with the podcast. However, after, I don't know, a month and a half of getting episodes, I had like 18 episodes in, and I went to search it for something. I don't even remember what, but I searched Mom Mentality and someone else had used the name too. And their podcast started like right after mine. Very similar. I think she was a therapist or something. And I don't know. I went and looked up the stuff when I started and I hadn't seen it. I don't know if we came up with the idea at the same time. You know, there's a million things that can cause that. However, I don't want to have something that's going to get confused with somebody else. I won't lie. At first, I was like really annoyed and like protective of that name. But because it had been weighing on me, that I wanted to find a way to talk about more than that, because I have a really great marriage. And I don't say that to brag, but like I've been married for 10 years. I've been with my husband for 15. I have a pretty good lockdown of what the highs and lows of marriage look like, as well as I had a lot of people tell me, wait till you get past the honeymoon stage. And we did, and yet never really came out of it. So I wanted to be able to share that too, because I feel like so much of the coaching I've had and like received and that I do can benefit more than just parents. It can benefit relationships. And so then it was already weighing on my heart that I was like, did I mess this up? Is this something I should have thought through more, you know, so that I could offer support in areas more than just being mom, but helping women who, of course, identify with mom, but maybe some of them don't. But these tools and strategies and work that I do helps in so many other ways. I want them to be able to get that help as well. So I'd kind of already been being pulled to shift it before I came across that podcast. And like being more than, and like healing while you're in relationships, I tend to get a little pissy about when people say like, you can't love someone else until you're fully healed. That's the farthest from the truth. However, you have to be self-aware. You have to be putting the work in. I think what they're trying to say, or this is how I perceive it anyway, is that you can't show up for somebody else. I think they say if you're not healed because you bleed your wounds all over everybody, right? Like if you're not taking care of your own wounds, you're going to bleed onto other people. And I think that that's where that comes from. But the reality is if you're self-aware enough to do the work and communicate and move forward, you can be with somebody whether you're healed or not. The thing is, you have to recognize those triggers. You have to be working on that. Otherwise, you will destroy your relationships, period. In every aspect, if you are allowing the unhealed version of yourself to just run rampant. So that's why Heartcore Home felt so much more aligned, because I want to move forward with that information and share what I can. Now, this isn't going to be just like a tips and tricks kind of podcast. However, like, yeah, I'm going to share tools and help you reflect and all of the things, but it's also going to be a space for like honest stories, like honest hurdles. I don't want us to ever feel like we're alone because I felt like that for so much of my life. So that's what this podcast is. It's kind of a safe space to get the feedback, but also hear other stories that might inspire you or give you a little pep in your step to move forward or realize, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not completely insane. That other people are going through these things, which that kind of brings me to my next point. If you were around for mom mentality and you've been around since the beginning, you're still going to feel at home here. You're still going to get the same stuff. That the interviews and the thought processes behind all of this are still going to be here. They're going to be the same. I'm just going to sprinkle in some more with it. So you're still going to be comfortable here. You're still going to get what you've been getting out of this. Still going to be me, still going to be casual in my checkered pants. It's going to be real as fuck. It's going to be boundaries and triggers and all of those things that we've talked about before. What's new is that we will go beyond the motherhood. We'll talk about the inner child work. We'll talk about the marriages. We'll talk about raising emotionally safe humans and being an emotionally safe human, conflict resolution, anything that goes beyond just the scope of I'm a mom and you're my child. I'm going to have more solo episodes. I'm going to have more conversations. I might have a few men on here. I know my husband's going to come on here. Shout out. He's going to have, I'm going to bring him on so we could talk about some things for Father's Day. Because again, those are the relationships. And some of the coaching I've done was actually around more of how do mom and dad get on the same page? How do mom and dad model the behaviors that they want to see in their kids? You know, so I think it's going to give a more holistic approach to our lives as women and the complexities that come with that when we're family women. I feel like a lot of my life recently, the last probably 5 years, has been so much change and evolving through a ton of stuff, a ton. I feel like I've lived 10 lives in the last 5 years or more in the name of change. I'm talking real change, inner change, deep, messy, dreadful, and joyful change. This didn't start when I changed a podcast name. This is work I've been doing for years. It started, I think, when I got more honest with myself. I've always been pretty self-aware, but when I finally got to the point where I was being honest enough to see my blind spots and had someone else pointing them out to me, and not coming from a place of like, you're broken, so fix it, because that's how it started. I found all of these like Instagram posts and things like that of how these are the things you should be doing, right? And just feeling worse about myself. And it wasn't until I got coached and started working with a coach where I was able to see my blind spots from a place of like compassion and like, okay, this is why I do what I do, right? And maybe you're here and you want more truth in your relationships. You want to stop yelling, but you have absolutely no idea how to. Oh my gosh, I so deeply resonate with the yelling. I come from a long lineage of yellers. Yelling is like in my DNA. So believe me, girl, believe me, I understand that. You just want to feel like you again. Maybe you're at that point in your life, motherhood, wherever you're at, where you want to just feel like an actual person and not in like the fog of motherhood. I have to be really real with you. Evolving and healing and change, the whole butterfly cocoon, you know, it's not a one-time thing like a butterfly cocoon. It is time and time again choosing that new path. It takes effort. It takes consciousness. It takes a lot to change and to evolve and to grow into the best version of yourself that you can be. It's so messy. It's so uncomfortable. It's slow. It's not linear. People say it all the time. Healing is not linear. And we say, I mean, it sounds fluffy, but it's so true. Sometimes it's crying in your car. Sometimes it's, okay, I'm going to just tell you for real. My thing is when I get bothered, now I will walk into the bathroom, close the door and cry. I don't know. I seclude working on that one, but that's my go-to is I will literally just like go in the other room and just silently like sit on the toilet seat and like, like sob. It's hard. It doesn't, just because you get the tools doesn't mean suddenly you're healed, you're fixed, you're changed and everything is sunshine and daisies. That's not how it works, but it is so worth it. And let me tell you, some of the ways that I have personally evolved in the last few years. I have stopped fully pretending I'm fine when I'm not. Yes, I may go to the bathroom, but that's usually to get out the initial eruption of emotion when I do tend to get aggressive. So I step away, I let it all out, and then I come back and I can talk about it. So I no longer just, it's fine, everything's good, or put on a brave face. When I was growing up, I didn't cry like hardly ever unless I was by myself. Like I always had like that poker face. Now my poker face is gone. It's like non-existent. I can't even do it anymore because I'm okay with having my emotions. I have started telling the truth more, even when it's awkward as hell. Sometimes that sucks, but I've gotten a lot better about just being honest. And I'm not saying I was like a big old liar before, but sometimes you just like, oh yeah, just to not have a conflict or just to like step away. Like, yeah, we should totally go for lunch and then ignore it. I'm not going to say I don't say that ever, but you know what I mean? It's like those situations where it just feels so uncomfortable to be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So you just say, oh yeah, and then move on. I've gotten better about that. So like if somebody's going to say, hey, we should go get drinks sometime, I'm just straight up like, I don't drink. That's not my thing. We could do something else, like finding the ways to just be truthful instead of just like go with the flow and then like ghost people. I have let myself rest without guilt most days. Often I still want to try to be productive. I'm working through that. And I'm learning to take up space. I'm learning to take my own mask off. That's hard as hell. Because I get on these cameras and then I immediately want to like sound different and behave different. And I hate that I do it. It's so freaking hard to get that mask off. But I've been doing it so well for so long, like my entire life, that it's very hard to take off. But I am working on that. Who I am, what I'm doing, like all the things. Because I don't even know who I am. Like I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'm like one big walking contradiction. I have lost people. I have disappointed people. I've had a lot. It's been a lot. It's been so freaking heavy. But I've gained me. I've gained better relationships, more joy in my motherhood. I don't feel like a piece of shit all the time. I can't even tell you how relieving that is because I literally have had people tell me my whole life, you're so confident. And I'm like, if you knew what was going on in my head, holy crap. Like I would say some awful, awful shit to myself. And now I don't do that anymore. On a rare occasion. I won't lie. On a rare occasion, if I have a really bad like mental, like when I was postpartum with Corey, that was really hard. I did have some really hard times, but generally it's not like that. And within all of this, of course, like my kids know that I'm not perfect, but we talk about that more. So I am able to be more connected with them because I'm able to be more honest with them. And I think our relationships are much better for it. I think my marriage has gotten better. We're always getting better. We're pretty solid. We have our moments. but we're at the core of it. We're pretty solid. We definitely argue and bicker like anybody else, but it actually doesn't happen all that often. And when we do argue, it's usually just bickering. But I think we've gotten stronger in our communication. And I know for a fact my husband's gotten better about his communication and his perceptions, I guess. So yeah, it's been really good. We stopped trying to perform and worry about what other people thought. We started shifting our perspectives, and I have let go of a lot of shit. Like I've let go of just so much stuff, just so much. I can't even explain it to you. It's like I learned to have my own back. I learned to have actual confidence. I learned how to say like, who gives a fuck if they think this or, and it was so freeing. And I guess my point is like through that, you don't have to have this entire plan to start where you're at. I had no idea what was coming for me. I just knew something was pulling me towards a coach, right? Like I was looking up all of those things and feeling like crap. And then I had seen this coach. And for me, it was for network marketing. I was in a network marketing company where I wanted to help people with their marriages. I knew anything I wanted to do, I wanted to be helping people. And I've always been very psychology driven. And I knew that was the direction I was going. At the end of the day, network marketing wasn't it, but I was trying to find that value through that. And so I found this coach and I got so much more out of it than I expected. It was business coaching, but there was so much mindset stuff within it that I didn't even need to touch and implement the tools for my life to change. And granted, I didn't implement a lot of the tools except for the mindset. Like that's where I got hooked, and it really opened up my world, I think, in so many ways I didn't even know. I just felt that pull and I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it a shot. And so I had no plan. I just kept moving forward. I just tried things, just kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall. I just tried things. And with that one step, I just started to be able to see where the dots were connecting, which I think is a big deal when you can actually see that as you're going through stuff. And of course, this wouldn't be a podcast episode without a little bit of knowledge to go through this. So you don't need a plan, but I am going to give you some steps on how to get moving forward. So number one, get curious. Like I said, throw some spaghetti, try new things. But when it comes to the true curiosity, paying attention to your body, like what feels weird, what doesn't feel authentic, paying attention to those things and reflecting, that's a really amazing place to start when you start throwing that spaghetti, right? Like it's much easier to feel the feelings, even if you don't know where they're coming from. Just feeling them like, I'm feeling that in my body. I don't know why, but here we are, right? The self-awareness that comes with it. That's the first place to start throwing some spaghetti. What does this feel like? Could it be this? I don't know. Let's see. Dig a little deeper. Tell the truth. Just even if it's just to yourself, just start being honest with yourself. And then eventually you'll be able to be honest with other people and stand your ground more. And I say honesty, not like, again, not because you're a liar, but because the people pleaser wants to say everything's okay and do all the things. So being honest with yourself, like, no, I don't like staying out past this time of night, or I don't like making plans with this, or things changing last minute, like just getting honest with yourself will help you get honest with other people, which will help make those relationships better when you're upfront about how you're really feeling. It leads to much less explosive reactions. And pick one little thing every day. Just try one little thing. Throw more spaghetti. It's so funny that I'm saying this so much because I still have a business coach. Well, she's like more branding, social media coach. Anyway, and she's always saying throw spaghetti. Like, I think you need to throw more spaghetti. And it's like the same concept in our parenting and our relationships and our healing. It's like what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. And that's why when it comes to coaching, it's so much more reflective than it is like I tell you what to do. It's me helping you see your blind spots so that you can figure out what works for you, because I made a video about how I hated when people say, take a deep breath. For me and my story and my history, that does not work for me. It just pisses me off. But sometimes I can let out those like big growls or hold my breath, and that works for me because I don't think of it as like a fluffy, take some deep breaths, hand on your chest. Because when you're in an angry, aggressive state, the last thing you want to do is slow down and not let out the aggression, right? Sometimes with my daughter, she pushes on the wall. She has to get out that feeling, right? Pull on your hands, like twist a pillow or rag, or, there's so many things. So try something every day. Throw some spaghetti. See what helps. If you're the kind of parent that likes to yell all the time, find different things that you could try every day and see, oh, that felt good. Like if me being in another room and then wanting to yell at them in the other room, right? Maybe I need to like just sit there for a minute and listen to it. Like, oh my God, they're driving me crazy. Let the words get out in your own brain and then go in and say, hey, what's going on here? Try different strategies and see what works. If it's like, I need to hold ice. Okay. If it's, I need to do 10 jumping jacks, whatever. That's if you're aggressive, but there's so many different ways. So try something new every day. Throw spaghetti, say no one time to somebody, take a break, try responding differently. It's not about overhauling. You can get all the information. It's not going to just change at the drop of a pin anyway. So like just pick one thing and go with it and see if it resonates. And the things that do, they will get ingrained into how you behave. I know, because I felt like when I came out of coaching, like I wasn't reacting in the way I should have been. And I was like kind of bullying myself then too, because I was like, how are you going to teach other people to do this when you can't even control yourself? And then I was like, that's because just because I have the knowledge doesn't mean the patterns with how my body reacts and my nervous system reacts and all the things have just magically changed. I just have the wisdom. Now I need to put it into practice and rebuild those habits. So yes, those are the 3 things. Start implementing them, see how it goes, and come back for the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. For real, I am really enjoying having a podcast. I'm really enjoying getting to know people. And so that's a whole other thing. Like, follow me on social media. Let's talk. Like, like I said, I'm building my village, even if it's online. And so I am now a part of your village. If you listen to this and you are subscribed to this, you are now the village. We are the village. So follow me, talk to me. Let's do this together because no one was meant to do shit on their own. Period. We were here for connection. That's why we were placed on this earth. Anyways, if this is an episode that something just hit you and you're like, oh my God, I needed this today, share it. Somebody else might need that too, right? Send it to a friend that's in a messy trench kind of place right now in the middle of becoming who she's meant to be. Share it with them. And I would be so honored if you would leave a review because we're growing this thing. You just wait. We're growing this thing. And I want your help and I want you to come along for the ride. This is the Heartcore Home. You belong here. And remember, just do your best.